Communism is a political and economic ideology that seeks to establish a classless society where all property and wealth are collectively owned. In theory, communism aims to eliminate social inequality by distributing resources according to need rather than market forces. The state, or in pure communism, the people, controls production and distribution. In practice, communist states have often been characterized by strong government control, limited political freedoms, and planned economies. Notable examples include the Soviet Union, Maoist China, and modern-day Cuba. Critics point out that centralized control often leads to bureaucratic inefficiency and lack of innovation, while supporters believe that modern technological advancements could help overcome past failures and create a more equitable.
A dictatorship is a form of government in which all power is concentrated in the hands of one person or a small group. This system is often characterized by strict and authoritarian rule. A dictator tends to make decisions unilaterally, bypassing discussion or voting processes. They appoint and remove key officials and determine the course of the country's domestic and foreign policy. Dictatorships are marked by excessive control over public life. Censorship is common, freedom of assembly is restricted, and the press is tightly controlled. Dictatorships create an atmosphere of fear, as any dissent can be suppressed by force.
A federation is a form of government in which a country is divided into regions with their own authorities and laws. However, these regions are not fully independent and are subject to the federal government in matters such as defense, foreign policy, and the monetary system. Examples of federations include the United States, Germany, Switzerland, and Canada. A federation is more stable than a confederation, as it allows for unified policies while preserving regional autonomy. Over time, federations have evolved to provide more autonomy to their constituent regions, while maintaining a strong central government to ensure national unity and security.
Technocracy is a system in which power belongs to specialists in various fields: scientists, engineers, urban planners. Decisions in this system are made based on scientific data. This approach aims to eliminate political bias and prioritize efficiency, though it can sometimes lack democratic accountability. Some argue that Singapore, under Lee Kuan Yew, had elements of technocracy.
Oligarchy is a system in which a country is ruled by a small group of wealthy and influential individuals. They may make decisions directly, but more often they operate from behind the scenes, influencing those in official power. Supporters of oligarchy see it as a natural order, but critics highlight numerous flaws. Power is concentrated in the hands of select few, leading to the neglect of the majority's interests. Examples include Russia in the 1990s, where a few oligarchs controlled key industries, and ancient Sparta, where power belonged to a warrior class. Such concentration of authority often results in corruption, economic inequality, and suppression of opposition. Today, many argue that corporate elites in democratic nations exert oligarchic influence by shaping policies through lobbying and campaign funding.
Democracy is a system of government where power belongs to the people, either directly or through elected representatives. A key principle is the protection of rights and freedoms, ensuring citizens have a voice in political decisions. Elections play a crucial role. In a direct democracy, people vote on laws themselves, while in a representative democracy, they elect officials. There are different forms, including parliamentary, where parliament elects the executive leader, and presidential, where the president is both head of state and government. Examples include the US, Canada, Sweden, and Germany.
Monarchy is a form of government in which the head of state, the monarch, holds the position for life or until abdication. The monarch's power may be limited, constitutional monarchy, or absolute. In most cases, power is hereditary, leading to long dynasties. Examples include the United Kingdom, where the monarchy is mostly ceremonial, and Saudi Arabia, where the king has significant political power. Historically, monarchies were the dominant form of governance, with rulers claiming divine right to rule. Over time, many monarchies transitioned into constitutional systems, where real power lies with elected representatives, while the monarch serves a symbolic role. In absolute monarchies, such as Brunei, the monarch retains full control over governance and legislation.
Anarchy is a system without rulers, based on complete freedom. Anarchists oppose the state and centralized authorities, believing them to be unjust. They argue for self-governance, but critics claim it leads to chaos and instability. While no country operates under complete anarchy, temporary anarchist communities have existed, such as parts of Spain during the Spanish Civil War.
Feudalism was based on land ownership, where a suzerain granted land to a vassal in exchange for service. This created a hierarchical social structure in which the king and the church owned most of the land, while peasants worked for the lords. Feudal societies had rigid class divisions, with little social mobility. Examples include medieval Europe and feudal Japan.
Theocracy is a form of government in which power is held by religious leaders, who are considered intermediaries between God and the people. In such systems, laws are often based on religious texts or doctrines, and religious authorities have significant influence over political decisions. An example is ancient Egypt, where pharaohs were believed to have divine connections and were worshipped as gods. Another example is Iran, a modern Islamic theocracy, where the supreme leader, a religious figure, has the highest authority over all branches of government. The Vatican City is also a theocracy, where the Pope serves as both the spiritual and political leader of the Catholic Church and its independent state. Theocracies often merge religious beliefs with governance, which can influence education, justice, and personal freedoms according to religious principles.
Pacifism is a belief system that opposes war and violence as a means of resolving conflicts. Pacifists advocate for peaceful solutions, diplomacy, and nonviolent resistance. Some follow absolute pacifism, rejecting all forms of violence, while others support self-defense but oppose war. Notable examples include Mahatma Gandhi's nonviolent movement in India and Martin Luther King Jr.'s civil rights activism. Pacifism can influence government policies, leading to disarmament and neutrality, as seen in countries like Switzerland. Critics argue that pacifism may be unrealistic in the face of aggression, while supporters believe it promotes long-term peace and stability.